Help to support and grow our podcast by purchasing great products through our affiliate link page. Go to smackology.life/support for all of our affiliate links. Thank you in advance for supporting the podcast.
Smacking off the podcast.
And we're back on Smacking Off the Podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Madden. I'm joined with Doug Phillips, my co-host and producer. And we are joined on the line with one President Justin Pike.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Absolutely wonderful. And we are joined with hashtag fake profiles, his very own fake profile, playing the voice of Landon Beeman.
How's everybody doing tonight?
What's up, homie? I blocked Shannon Russell. I think it was about time. I think it's about time that we all go ahead and end this scourge on the Facebook Smack groups right now. None of us are really LSU fans. We don't really want to talk about LSU. Nobody does. It's time to just all collectively ban her from Facebook. We did it with, didn't we do it with Rush Limbaugh and Donald Trump? Can't we do it with Shannon Russell?
We can.
Fair enough.
So, but I think Rush Limbaugh, I think he died.
He did.
So I don't want Shannon Russell to die, but I think it's time I think she move on to a different platform. I think Instagram's more her speed.
Yeah, she likes to DM me on there too, apparently. Y'all probably
really?
saw that in the group. Yeah, I posted in the group.
Were they anything that had nipples in them?
No, she tried to ask me if I would stop or something like that, whatever stop was. I guess it was stop trolling her because she can dish it but can't take it. So it's resulted to this, and here we are. And it's been successful. I think it's been a successful troll, and I think it's worked out well for everybody.
And, she's brought this upon herself. All she had to do was live up to her terms of the agreement. And, she'd be a mod in group and the whole thing, but no, she chose the darker path.
She did. All she had to do is come on the podcast. Very simple. Yeah. She could be on this call right now, but oh no.
Well, no, she can't because I blocked her. I mean,
I know now.
I mean, if I knew that she was going to be on, I might unblock her for like 2 minutes, but then I'll probably block her in the middle of the call, which will probably kick the call. I think that would be a funny segment. Doug, add that to your notes, please.
You want to start calling Shannon Russell in the intro segment every episode?
Yeah, every episode. I think we should do that. Yeah, we should do that. Mm-hmm. She'll block all of our accounts. We can go ahead and get her to block all of our accounts, and I think that'll work. I'm actually, this is going to be okay because either we block Shannon Russell's accounts or we get her to block our accounts. Either way, it's a win.
All right then.
I can tell you how you get her to block your account. That's easy. She's already tried to do that to me. I tried to get her to unblock me just so I could keep trolling her, and it worked so beautifully. If I might add, worked beautifully.
And if she wants back in group, she's going to have to get me to unblock her because I'm an admin. I'm an admin over there, and I got feelings too.
You're not allowed to block admins. That's a group rule.
That's right. I got feelings.
That was established by Lord David Marshall.
By the way, she's still in Family Smack.
Good.
No, she's not. Not anymore.
Oh, really?
No, no. We got to dump that.
All right.
We can't have this anymore. I mean, I think it's time to go up. We need to purge all of her fake accounts. We need to just go ahead and flush Shannon Russell once and for all.
Shannon, you sent her a dick pic, didn't you?
I don't want to talk about it right now. Can we move on with this conversation, please?
Yes.
Yes. We're going to some real uncomfortable territory, and I don't feel emotionally ready for this.
All right, we've got a big game in Tuscaloosa, I heard.
Yes, we do. Hotty toddy, right?
Landon, you're going
right,
to
Justin Pike.
I am. Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous will be at the game.
Oh man, I want live footage.
Yeah, you will. We will get it. We will get live. You will get live footage.
I want to come tailgate. God, I want to tailgate for this
one. Oh, I'll send you live footage of the tailgate too.
I need that. Mom has to work on Saturday, so I gotta do the thing. She's not really. She's 3 right now, and trying to get her in that kind of setting is going to be terrifying. So yeah, I got about another year or so before I can start heading down to Tuscaloosa and giving her the daddy-daughter experience. Roll Tide.
Perfect.
That came out so wrong.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I was about to
Hey, we
It
embrace
took me
it.
a
At this
second,
point.
man. I had to write that meme in my head, and I was like, yeah, that probably wasn't a good look. let's edit that out. Let's do it over. And 3, 2, 1, and we're back on
No.
Smacking Off the
I wouldn't
podcast.
edit that out.
So, Justin, go ahead and give us your opinion on this game.
I do think Ole Miss is going to win. I think they're going to win a tight one. I think it's going to be like 45-42. Ole Miss will win. Even on the spread, no matter what happens, and I will guarantee you this, there's no way Ole Miss won't score at least 40 on that defense.
Are we talking bet the over on this? Is that your Justin Pike lock of the week?
Do the math. So Ole Miss is a 16-point underdog. They're going to score 40. I don't think Alabama's going to hit 56. Alabama's defense, horrible. Ole Miss scores at least 40, 45, and they cover that 16 easily.
Okay, so you're picking Ole Miss to cover, probably win.
Probably win, absolutely cover.
And what I'm referring to is I'm talking about the over/under on the game.
How do we know? What's the over/under on the game, Landon?
77.
It's actually the line that we just got a minute ago was 79.5.
Damn,
But
it's
again,
went up.
that's it. Well, that might also depend from betting service to betting service. You know how that works.
Well, it's probably going up because a lot of people are taking the over.
Yeah.
But, I mean, honestly, even at 79, I'd probably take the over.
Okay. And that's your Justin Pike lock of the week.
Justin Pike lock of the week's Ole Miss plus 16.
And that's your other Justin Pike lock of the week.
And Arkansas is going to cover as well, and I think they have a really, really good chance of beating Georgia.
I think that's an 18-point line, isn't it?
Yeah, Arkansas and Ole Miss will cover this weekend. Just bet the house on that.
Landon, what do you think about this game? Are you worried?
I'm very worried. I hate playing Ole Miss every year. I hate it. I'm extremely
Particularly
worried.
with the way
It's a
that
heart
Kiffin has
attack
those
game.
boys balling now.
They play Alabama better than anyone, and they always do. They'll play Alabama like it's their Super Bowl, and then next week they'll lose. It's the most frustrating thing. I wish they just go 12-0 for once in their life. I wish they beat Alabama and just go 12-0 to make me feel better. But they'll beat Alabama and then go 7-5.
Yep.
It's the most frustrating shit with Ole Miss.
I've got a feeling that Alabama is going to beat Ole Miss by 20.
What?
Yes.
I hope you're right.
All right. I can't wait. I can't wait for this game. I'm going to laugh. And don't y'all be mad. Don't y'all be mad with Ole Miss.
I mean, it don't really matter what happened. If Ole Miss wins the game, then I was wrong.
Still go 11-1, and
But
y'all could still like the year Ole Miss beat them back to back. They still went to the playoff.
I think we're looking at something like 51-31, something like that. I think that Ole Miss will score a lot.
Ain't no way in hell that Alabama defense holds Ole Miss to 31 points. Ain't no way in hell.
You do realize though that Alabama they went and played Florida. Florida looks pretty good. Ole Miss has not played anybody.
Ole Miss would beat Florida probably by 3 touchdowns.
I don't know about that.
I don't think about that. I think they'd win on about 3 touchdowns.
I don't think that Ole Miss would beat Florida.
This will all be solved on Saturday. That's the good thing about
The
it.
problem with Ole Miss is even last year they would beat Alabama. Then the next week they had 6 turnovers against Arkansas, and then they had 7 against LSU. They're so Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know what you're really going to get from them.
I mean, they're going to play their ass off. I know that.
100%.
I just think Alabama makes some key stops in the game.
But look, Landon, I will have to say this, and we kind of are spoiled about that sort of thing here as Alabama fans because there's been consistency within the program. And there hasn't been good, solid consistency at Ole Miss for quite some time. Not for real. And, you know, Lane's still very early in his tenure there, and there's a lot of that culture that he's trying to get going. And I mean, so far this season, it looks like he's, the players are buying into what he's selling.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. No, I mean, that's the thing with like Matt Corral, he's really good, but the problem is he makes one mistake, he becomes like a fucking hothead. Now, if everything's going great for him, he does really well. He's a hell of a quarterback, but when he makes one mistake, it's like a snowball effect. That's why they've had so many bad games against like Arkansas and LSU where they had a combined 13 turnovers in both games. I mean, that's unheard of. When's the last time y'all heard of a team having 6 turnovers in one game? That's nuts. I mean, and I'd love for that team to show up on Saturday, but I know they're not because Ole Miss plays Alabama so well.
No,
but Alabama
really
also scores on Ole Miss a lot. I mean, Alabama has
Well,
gotten
and,
50
look,
on them since
And now they're about to
2017
get
every
Lane
year.
trained.
And this is the first time that they come within striking distance, because if they beat Alabama, think about this for half a second. If they beat Alabama and then we suddenly, across the state have Arkansas beat Georgia, man, the whole entire landscape in the SEC suddenly changes in the blink of an eye, something that nobody saw coming before the beginning of the season. We all knew that Ole Miss was good, but I mean, again, if they go on to beat Alabama, then you're looking at just an absolute upheaval in the SEC West and really the SEC as a whole.
Yeah, well, think about Arkansas. They can afford to lose to Georgia, and they can still win the West. I mean, they just can't lose another game is their thing, which I think they will lose to Georgia. I would love to see them win, but I just think with Arkansas's quarterback injured because he got hurt against Texas A&M, and Georgia's front seven is absolutely lethal. I just don't see Arkansas doing a whole lot, and I think Georgia could win that game something like 24-10 or something.
Perhaps, and I get where you're going with that, because you're not going to run very much on Georgia, if at all.
No,
Georgia,
their front's elite. It's really good.
Locked down.
Do y'all think Ole Miss would go up and down the field on Georgia?
No.
I don't know.
I think they would. I think they would for a little bit, but they'd
up and down
settle
the field on Georgia.
I don't think they're going to go up and down the field on Alabama either. I think they're going to score, but I don't think
you're in a rude awakening.
We'll see.
If Florida goes up and down the field on them, I guarantee you Ole Miss is going. It's not going to be.
And they did. I mean, like it or not, that happened. So we'll have to see what adjustments Saban's made, because I'm sure Kivin's given him more than a few good looks as far as what he's got coming.
Any adjustment Saban's about to make, Lane's going to know what to do.
Perhaps. Now, and bear in mind, we're also talking about some, slightly different personnel surrounding Saban that wasn't there when Kiffin was.
Alabama's got the edge tremendously in personnel. I mean, let's just face it. Now, I will admit that Ole Miss probably has the better quarterback right now, but
so you would think that Alabama's offense is better than Ole Miss's offense right now?
What player on Ole Miss's offense besides the quarterback would you take over people on Alabama's offense?
I mean, they score 50 a game.
Okay, so you take the play caller. I would take Kiffin over Bill O'Brien 100%.
Well,
but make no mistake, Kiffin would 100% rather have Alabama's talent as a whole than he would Ole Miss's talent. That's not even a debate.
Ole Miss was off last week, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which can be both good and bad.
Do me a favor. I don't have anything handy to pull up their schedule. Who have they played? I know they played Tulane.
Louisville, and Austin Peay.
Okay. So
Louisville's not bad right now. Actually, Louisville's a good team.
Who's Louisville beat?
That one guy.
Florida State.
I mean, Florida State is that they're a storied historical program. I can't make any excuses for Florida State right now. That's a fucking.
Louisville's a pretty decent team. Louisville, I forget who Louisville beat somebody.
They beat UCF off a pick six, I think. It's like with 14 seconds left of the game.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that now. And they beat Florida State. So that's their only two. They've got 2 wins, right? They're 2-1.
They're 3-1.
Okay, what's their other win?
Eastern Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's look at Alabama. Like, who's Alabama played this year? If you want to get all technical of that,
really, just Florida.
Florida would be undefeated with Ole Miss's schedule, would they not?
Yes.
Yeah, they'd be 3. They would have. Florida would have drug Louisville up and down the field.
Yeah,
that'd have been a joke.
I think Auburn would be undefeated with Ole Miss's schedule.
Alabama. Let's look. Let's see who Alabama's played this year. I forget off the top. They're played.
Didn't we play Furman, or was it Mercer? I can't. It was one of the two.
Mercer, Miami, and Florida.
Yeah, no, Southern Miss. Here we go. Southern Miss
So, hey, Southern Miss is a real program. Shut up.
Oh, and then Mercer. I mean, come on, Alabama shouldn't be playing Mercer, and then they played Miami and Florida, who they had
Miami and Florida
Miami
both
Florida.
would have been undefeated with Ole Miss's current 3 games they played.
I did say something. The Battle of the Guru thing. I was thinking about that. Like,
You lost, by the way. Did you remember
Yeah.
that?
but what? The guy wasn't even online. You know what I mean?
That happened again tonight.
Oh, with who?
Justin Brindley didn't show up and he sent his picks in.
You see, I think there should be some kind of penalty for that. I should have thought of that. I should have negotiated that a lot better.
You should have. You know.
How bad did you lose?
I lost
By
by
one
one
game.
The Mississippi State losing to LSU games what lost me, which is tough. What do you do? But
Justin and Walter's picks were exactly the same except for that game.
I think we should make a rule like if somebody doesn't show up on the next one, since I won it last year, I should be automatically brought in. You know what I mean? I mean, don't you think that's fair?
No, I don't think it's fair, but
Make a video and send it to us, and I'll post it.
Okay.
I like that idea.
And then we'll do a poll.
Yeah.
Now,
Alright.
If you do a video, though, please say that you think that it's very possible that Walter Bryan is one of Timothy Bailey's puppet accounts.
If I can prove that Walter Bailey's a fake account,
Walter Bailey.
then
Walter Bailey.
I love it. Walter Bailey.
But go ahead and
Well,
do all that, and then we
Like
will
Walter Mitty.
we'll propose what you said. If anybody else drops out, you get to take their place.
all right. I'll have a video come through.
Hashtag Walter Bailey. I love it. That's what they could do. But you just birthed this campaign.
Yes.
Did we
to
get a
let
score
everybody
prediction
know
of the
that-
game, by the way?
Yeah, 45-42 Ole Miss.
45-42. I got Alabama 48-38.
All right.
I think the separation comes late in the game. I think it's going to be a really close game.
I mean, there's a lot of people that would kill to score 38 points on Alabama. Just ask Florida.
Yep.
We're gonna see, man. I'm telling you, but I know for a fucking fact that Ole Miss won't lose that game by 16 points or more. If I was in Vegas,
If Corral starts turning the ball over like I told you he's prone to do, you just might.
that defense is not going to allow it. That defense doesn't really allow that many turnovers, anyways. I'm just telling you. Don't be shocked when I'm on here next week and Ole Miss has won that game. And Arkansas has a better shot than everybody thinks against Georgia too.
All right, you got any more? Predictions?
Predictions. Yeah, this weekend, the Washington football team travels down to Atlanta, Georgia, after getting blown out by the Buffalo Bills. They're a current pick, so you can pick. There's no spreads. Load up.
Oh God, y'all play the Falcons?
Yep. Load up on the Washington football team. They come back with redemption this Sunday. That's a lock. Easy money.
All righty. Well, we'll talk to you next week.
That is easy money.
We'll talk to
See
you
y'all.
next week, and we'll try to figure out what happened with Ole Miss.
Hey, howdy.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Hulu has live TV?
Hulu has live sports?
Well, yes. Hulu does have live sports.
Time's up. I need your answer now.
Hulu has live game shows.
Correct. Hulu also has.
Hulu has live dating shows.
With over 75 live channels.
I choose Hulu.
Woo!
Hulu.
Flip like cable, stream like Hulu. Time to have Hulu plus live TV.
Visit the Smacking Off the Podcast Amazon store for awesome collegiate apparel. And help to support the podcast by making a purchase. Go to smackology.life/Amazon.
Non più tra i farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Adugino d'amor. Delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Adugino d'amor.
Welcome college football fans to another weekly installment of
Congratulations, you lost.
And your team accidentally. Please welcome our resident psychology ST Timothy Bailey.
Talk about Matt Campbell, okay? Matt Campbell's found himself on this list twice this year, and I think Matt Campbell's an excellent coach, and the fact that we're even talking about him in this context here in a moment just shows how much work he's done at a place like Iowa State for us to get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
But how many times do we have to watch the same movie with Iowa State? How many times are you going to outgain your opponent by 200 yards and still lose the football game? Breece Hall had 197 rushing yards, 51 receiving yards, and 3 total touchdowns, and his team lost the football game to Baylor, who's solid, but nothing to write home about, okay? You give up a kick return touchdown, you throw another interception in the red area, you fumble the ball, you turn it over on downs, you don't get off the field early on third downs on defense. And that's another repetitive quality. How many times are teams going to play against Iowa State and score points on special teams?
I have not watched Iowa State this year except for in the Iowa game. But
yeah, and it's not a this year thing. It's like a all the time thing. Last year, Louisiana Lafayette, when they beat Iowa State, guess what? 2 punt return touchdowns.
Sounds like he needs a special teams coach.
Yeah, his field goal kickers aren't consistent. They miss field goals. Let's see, what else? He's had punts blocked. He's had really shitty punts. Iowa in 2019, they ran into each other, creating a fumble on a punt return situation. You just go on, and special teams has been a serious problem for Iowa State since Matt Campbell's been there, and for some reason it continues to haunt them despite them having a roster that's probably going to send 8 guys to the NFL next year's draft. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-numbing. Certainly, I look at myself as a Sooner fan and I see some of the close games we've had, but we've won those games. Could you imagine losing some of these games? Like giving up a kick return touchdown, just silly nonsense. That's what Iowa State just plays with fire all the time. And as good as they can be, they'll never reach that level. It's obvious because they keep losing these games that they shouldn't lose.
Is it the limitations of Iowa State, or is this Matt Campbell? I mean, you've got Matt Campbell on the list, so you must feel like it's Matt Campbell.
It has to be Matt Campbell because as good as he's built up the program and the players that they have, I mean, there's no reason for them to shrink in these moments. It's not like when they play Oklahoma, they just get smoked. Then you'd be like, okay, well, he's at Iowa State. You know what I mean? Oh, they played Texas and they got smacked. Well, they're at Iowa State. Maybe they don't have the talent to compete with those kind of teams. But they compete with those teams. They beat the hell out of Oregon in the Fiesta Bowl last year, okay? They beat Oklahoma. They've beaten Oklahoma twice since 2017. They've come close a couple others against the Sooners. They played them really tough, right? They've beaten Texas most of the time. Even last year's team, which was a really good Texas team, that was kind of underrated, to be honest. Because they lost 2 close games to Oklahoma and Iowa State last year, and that was 2 of their 3 losses. So Iowa State's getting it done. It's in a way, it feels like it's pressure. When there's no pressure and you're not expected to win, maybe Iowa State performs well. When they are expected to win, they seem not to. And where else can you point the finger to that other than your head coach? Go out and you can compete with Oklahoma. You shouldn't have issues with Baylor.
He's at the right place, I guess. do this kind of shit, because if he keeps doing what he's doing, he'll be there. They're not going to get rid of him.
Oh no, he's the best coach, and it's gonna make it hard for, say, a Notre Dame, which is where he wants to go to Notre Dame or Ohio State.
That's where it's going to affect him. It's going to affect him moving to that next level.
Yeah, because if he goes to Ohio State or Notre Dame and does stuff like this, he's gonna hear about it.
Yeah, he ain't gonna hear about it very long.
No,
that's the thing. That's the thing. You go from a place where you can get away with that to places where you will not get away with that.
Well, I mean, look at all the criticism Lincoln Riley's receiving for winning.
Yep. And
it's not like Nebraska and West Virginia are some like cupcakes either. I mean, they're not great teams, but they're not bad opponents. So it's not like Oklahoma's out here struggling with FCS teams or whatever, like some people are. But he coached at Texas. He was a Sooner first. He was the OC for Barry Switzer. I'm going to go with Mac Brown. Mac, you got a first-round quarterback. How are you losing by 24 to Georgia Tech?
My mind is blown. I didn't see any of the game, but I seen the score, and maybe Clemson fans are right. Georgia Tech's back. That's all I can say. I don't know what's going on. Everything is turned upside down in the ACC. The teams that were supposed to be there are not there. You've got the Wolfpack, and you've got Wake Forest are undefeated. Boston College is undefeated, aren't they?
Yeah, NC State's not undefeated. They lost to Mississippi State.
Damn. I keep forgetting that. You're right.
So it's Boston College, and Wake are undefeated. Duke, even though they lost to an FCS team, they're 3 or 4-1 right now. So I don't know. Riddle me that, man. I have no idea what's going on in the ACC, and I don't think anybody else does. I'd imagine Clemson still bounces back and probably wins that league, but we'll see.
Well, Matt Brown's got the media paying attention to North Carolina. I'm talking about preseason. He did. Yeah. Things are not looking good now. I mean, I guess he's valid for that extra shot in the arm for the media. I don't see his second tenure at North Carolina going very far like this.
Well, I will say this. North Carolina is much better than they were whenever he arrived, okay? But when you get much better than you are when you arrive, then these losses to Georgia Tech have to stop happening. Like, you can't lose by 3 touchdowns to Georgia Tech.
I'll tell you what he's done, though, and Clemson as well. They've got me wanting to watch Georgia Tech a little more this year and see maybe Georgia Tech is improved a lot.
And I agree that Georgia Tech has improved. I mean, I think it was obvious that the hire they made was pretty good. It was going to take him a couple of years, because going from the triple option to what they're doing now is very difficult to transition. Yeah, just the offensive lineman, the type of lineman that you play is totally different. But, like, this team's not there yet. They shouldn't be. They lost a game to somebody really bad. I'm trying to remember who the hell it was.
They lost to Northern Illinois.
That's right.
And they beat Kennesaw State. Never heard of them. Played Clemson.
Lost to Clemson's respectable. I mean, you lose 45-22 though. I got Scott Frost as the third and final coach because. Did you see this game, Doug?
No, I didn't. I did see a little bit of it, and I seen a little bit of the fourth quarter.
All right, so I am going to. I'm going to pull up this graphic that I went ahead and took a screenshot of. It's just the graphic of the stats in this game, okay? Okay. And you're going to be kind of mind-blown, so I'm going to read these off to you here in a second. So it's kind of funny because I intentionally covered up the Michigan State's final score in this game, just because like I wanted people to be like, guess what the score is, because this is how bad Nebraska dominated but lost this game, okay? And they lost this football game. First downs, Nebraska 26. Michigan State 12. Nebraska 7 of 20 on third down with 2 of 2 on fourth down, meaning that they're roughly converting 9 out of 20 third down situations. Michigan State 1 of 11 on third down, 0 of 1 on fourth down. Total yards, Nebraska 442. Michigan State 254. Rushing yards, Nebraska, 194. Michigan State, 71. Nebraska lost this football game, Doug. You ready to hear how they lost this football game, Doug?
Tell me about it.
Okay. So, with about 3 minutes left, Nebraska's trying to run out the clock. They weren't able to get that first down to run out the clock all the way, so they had to punt back to Michigan State, who can't move the football, as you can clearly see. Okay. Nebraska punts the football, and the guy gets away a pretty shitty punt. It was like only a 37-yard net punt, which is not great, obviously. But here's the thing that kills me, okay? When you're about to punt, guess what? You guys talk about it, right? You're like, we're going to punt to the left or to the right, or we're going to punt here, right? You know where you're punting. It's not blind. You don't just go out and punt and see what happens, okay? You decide a direction, and that's where you punt, okay? Michigan State did that bullshit trick punt thing where they had one guy standing in one place and one guy standing in the other. The guy standing at the guy who was not getting punted to, which is, by the way, the strategy, literally pretends like he's going to field this punt. And so all the Nebraska players literally run up to try to hit this guy who was never even close to where the punt landed. They know where the punt is going, Doug. They know where the punt is going. They planned it, okay? Right. And it gets caught by the guy on the other side of the field where they planned to punt the football and no one's over there, and he literally walks 62 yards into the end zone. He literally could have turned around, Michael Jackson moonwalked. There was nobody over there. Not a soul. I mean, the game goes into overtime. Adrian Martinez throws only his second interception of the season. Michigan State kicks a field goal and wins the game. I think Florida going up to Lexington could be a very interesting game. We could have Dan Mullen on here next week.
You're right. Kentucky, they keep playing down to their competition, so a lot of people are not really suspecting that Kentucky can beat Florida. But at home, I think Kentucky's got a hell of a chance to pull the upset at home.
Yeah, and they've always played them tough. And and Florida was clearly a better team than Kentucky last year.
Yep.
All I'm saying is, over the last couple of years, Kentucky has really seemed to hone in and focus on trying to beat Florida, and they've played them really tough and even beat them that one time. So I suspect Florida wins, but I think the game is very interesting.
Absolutely, I got it circled, and of course you got Ole Miss and Alabama and Arkansas at Georgia. Cincy at Notre Dame is a interesting game.
It's a big one.
I think Ohio State going to Rutgers.
Oklahoma's trying not to. Yeah, Ohio State going to Rutgers is a good litmus test for them. Rutgers, as weird as it is a pretty good team. How far is Ohio State come in 2 weeks? That's a good question. And then Oklahoma has a chance to not lose 3 times in a row to Kansas State this weekend.
Yep. Got that one circled.
So some interesting concepts.
Yep. You'll have
Alabama beats the ever living dog shit out of Ole Miss.
Lane does an outstanding job with their offense. Their overall team is improved in every category. Defense, special teams, they really are playing extremely well. This is one of the best offensive teams in the country, no doubt. The quarterback is a fantastic player, understands the offense well, does a great job of executing it. They've got really good running backs. They've got lots of speed. They've got good receivers. The offensive line is returning intact. So a lot of really good players that are really well coached, and their whole fastball system is something that's always a challenge for the defense to get lined up and play with great poise and be able to focus on doing your job. So it's a real challenge for us from that standpoint. Defensively, they're really, really improved from a year ago in their statistics and the way they played. I think they got a little different system that they're playing, dropping a little bit more like Arkansas, with a little more 8 drops and playing a little more odd type stuff. So, and they have done it extremely well. And, because they've got good team speed, they're good on special teams, they got a great punter. So, this is a really, really good team overall and going to be a real challenge for us come Saturday, but we're definitely looking forward to it. We're making progress as a team, and I think it's going to. We need to continue to do that this week.
They've won the biggest championship, and that's a championship of life.
Second Life Championship Top 10 is brought to you by
Bad Month Tires. Guaranteed for the first 48 hours, but then you're on your own. Also by Doyle Hargrave Construction. He ain't fucking around, he gets shit done. Quality craftsmanship at an affordable price.
Here's your Life 10 for this week.
Number 10, the North Carolina Tar Heels. Number 9, the USC Trojans. Number 8, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Number 7, the LSU Tigers. Number 6, the Auburn Tigers. Number 5, the Oklahoma Sooners. Number 4, the Iowa State Cyclones. Number 3, the Wisconsin Badgers. Number 2, the Texas A&M Aggies. And the number 1 team for this week, and for the second consecutive week, is the Clemson Tigers.
Here's your 2021 Life Championship voters. Hunter Schainko, Jamie Gibson, Jay Fields, Large Marge Mahoney, Kyle Golick, Jerry Looney, Justin Brindley, Alex Bryan, and Dr. Balls, Robert Arthur. Let's thank them all for taking time out of their busy schedules to give us their opinions. Please direct all anger at them.
You can help to sustain and grow this podcast by using our affiliate links to buy the things that you are probably going to purchase anyway. Check out our Amazon Associates store to find college football apparel to buy just in time for football season. Upgrade your TV package with Dish Network. Subscribe to Showtime to tap into one of the largest catalogs of movies of any premium movie source. Buy Smacking Off merchandise at our spread shop. Smacking Off the podcast thanks you in advance. And please remember to like and comment on our videos.
Today in college football.
11 years ago today, number 7 Florida lost to number 1 Alabama 31-6 in Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Defending national champions Alabama built a 24-3 lead by halftime, and cruised to an easy victory over Urban Meyer's Florida Gators. Alabama would go on to lose 3 of their final 8 games of the season, finishing number 10 nationally, and Urban Meyer would retire as head coach of the Florida Gators at the end of the 2010 season, citing health issues. This was the third of 4 matchups between these two legendary coaches, both winning 2.
Smacking Off the Podcast's Battle of the Gurus.
And we're back on Smacking Off the Podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Madden. I'm joined with Doug Phillips, my co-host and producer. And we have our ongoing Smacking Off the Podcast Battle of the Gurus. We suffered a serious, massive upset last week. Can we talk about that briefly for a moment, Doug?
Yes, Walter, he ghosted the podcast, did not come on. His work threw him a curveball, and he couldn't come on. So he sent
cork and whiskey, from what I heard.
Something like that, yeah. He sent his picks in. Pike went up against him. And by the way, this is a side story. I've noticed something. We'll get to this in a minute. But anyway, Pike and Walter were right in line on their picks except one game, LSU and Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Walter had LSU.
That was a tough Hey, that was a tough game to call going into that game too.
It was. Walter had LSU, and Pike had Mississippi State.
And we remarked at that moment that, this is going to be the one that decides the whole enchilada for y'all. And it did.
So, and this is my opinion. I've been thinking about Pike's other guru battles. And, we won it all last year. Hence is why he was defending Guru Champ.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've detected a strategy with Pike. Pike typically picks second. But see, Pike had a list of what Walter was picking going in. He might have acted like he really didn't know what they were, but I believe he probably did. Pike's strategy is always, when in doubt, he picks the same as the other guy.
And will deviate from the other.
And he finds one game that he really believes strongly in. And that's
hotty toddy.
Even
though it's not Ole Miss, it's still there's some Mississippi feels involved in that one. Come on now.
And he's done this a lot. He's ended up with the same picks just about as the other guy, except for one game, and it's come out really good for him up to Walter.
That's a tragic story.
It is.
Well, we've got to keep this show rolling. We are joined now. If I remember correctly, Justin Brindley could not participate in this podcast, correct?
Did the same thing as Walter. He has sent his picks.
Yeah, he's got work. He said apparently his supervisor is up his ass tonight. So hopefully they're listening and that supervisor gets even further up his ass. But we are joined with Jerry Looney, a frequent contributor of the show. He was picked at number 12, I believe, by Justin Pike, and he's going to give us his picks on here. What's up?
I feel kind of disrespected by that. I feel like I'm better than number 12.
Well, again, Justin Pike was the one that picked that. Justin Pike, unfortunately, is not with us on the podcast, but we will bring that up next time that we speak with Justin Pike.
Well, there is one thing for sure. We're going to have a new person seeding 5 through 16 next year.
Wow.
So
will it be Walter Bryan? Will it be Justin Brindley? Will it be Jerry Looney?
Could be. Y'all ready to do
suspense.
These?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we got Michigan going to Wisconsin, who's reeling from getting their ass pounded by Notre Dame last week.
They just gave up right there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was nasty. That nobody. And again, we remember when we discussed this game, that was going to be a close game. It was going to be almost not even watchable TV, which I guess for a lot of folks it wasn't unless you were a Notre Dame fan. There's a lot of celebration going on last weekend.
All right, so I guess I'll just go ahead and throw this out there. Justin Brindley has gone with Michigan on this one.
Jerry Looney.
I'm going to go with Michigan. I don't think Wisconsin's all that.
They're completely depleted now. I will caution everybody if we remember history, and I know sometimes history doesn't really play into games like this. History usually dictates that this is a type of game that Michigan inexplicably loses and sends their season in kind of a questionable turn. Michigan, nobody really believes in Michigan right now. At number 14, usually Michigan showing out the way that they are usually yields them a top five or top 10 AP vote.
No, it's definitely there's definitely a lot of caution there.
Yeah, and so and again, leading it. What's the line on this game? I wonder.
I really don't know. I don't have.
Well, give me 1 second.
I'll have to look at it. Yeah. That's and that's at Wisconsin too. I would imagine the line still get even at number 14 versus Wisconsin, as bad as they showed last week. At Wisconsin, I still think that's going to be a tight line.
I'm going to guess
like less than a touchdown.
They got Wisconsin as a 1-point favorite right now.
Oh wow! Do you realize how unprecedented that is, particularly for Wisconsin to come off the loss that they did?
But they're still home, and they feel like
come on, man. Seriously though, I mean, but is that really worth giving them a point? Come on.
Well, considering home
Michigan field, 3, at very best.
Home field's usually 7 points for you, so
that is so much disrespect for the Michigan program.
They're giving Michigan 6 points better than they would just anybody. Considering Wisconsin should get 7 just for being at home.
This is the number 14 team in the country that's playing pretty good football.
Surprisingly.
All right.
And Wisconsin just suffered one of the worst. We're going to talk about this for a half second because Wisconsin suffered one of the absolute just most demoralizing losses that they've suffered in a minute against a decent Notre Dame team, but it's not supposed to be like all that. Come on now. But what I'm saying is that I understand Wisconsin's at home, and I understand Wisconsin is a good team, but man, Wisconsin just looked absolutely like complete garbage last week. And they're still giving them 1 point over the number 14 team in the nation. That's how much disrespect is going on for what Michigan's got cooking this year. And that's dangerous. That is dangerous.
Speaking of garbage, we've got Tennessee going to Missouri.
Man, you want to talk about some stank in this game? Both programs. I mean, really, this is a pick 'em for me. This is a coin toss.
All right. Well, Justin's going with the Vols.
Since he picked the Vols, I'll pick Missouri.
You going with the Mizzou at home?
That's what I'm saying. It's a coin toss. You go either way with this. I mean, if you're gonna burn one, burn it. We'll burn it on this game.
All right. Now here's an interesting game. Oklahoma is going to Kansas State, which they have not beat in. I believe they're 0-2 in their last two meetings against them.
Oklahoma looked fucking amazing last. No, wait a minute. No, they didn't.
No.
Yeah, Oklahoma looked. It's surprisingly just completely beatable.
Well, Justin Brindley has Kansas State upsetting Oklahoma.
I got Oklahoma in this one, and I've got Oklahoma by 40+.
Wow.
Spencer Rattler's gonna come alive finally, right?
I don't think it's gonna be on Rattler. I think it's gonna be.
It can't be on Rattler because they're not gonna be able to make it happen with him under center. I'm sorry, not in that fashion, not in the same fashion they were able to do with Baker Mayfield or Mr. Kyler Murray, tremendous quarterback, even Jalen Hurts, which at times was slightly disappointing to them, but was still able to ball. It's not doing so hot for the Eagles right now, I think.
I'm going to say Justin Brindley not being here, he picked a shitload of upsets this week.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, next we've got Rutgers hosting Ohio State.
And
And
I don't know, man. They played Michigan pretty damn close.
Well, Justin Brindley's got Rutgers upsetting Ohio State up in New Jersey.
Ooh. I can't see Ohio State losing like that. As much as it pains me, I'm gonna say Ohio State.
Right.
Yeah, I like where Shiano's got this program, but I don't think he's got it there yet. He's getting there. Oh, he is definitely getting there. Bet your ass on that, Tennessee fans. I'll never, ever let them live that down. That was the stupidest thing they could ever done to themselves and their own fucking program. They're stupid. They're stupid people.
I agree.
Number 10, Florida travels to Lexington, Kentucky to take on the Kentucky Wildcats.
Huh?
And let me go ahead and say that Justin Brindley has Kentucky upsetting Florida.
Come on, man. No, not this year. Florida is so pissed off about last year. Don't even think for a second that they're going to go into this game unprepared.
Now, hold on. Now they beat Kentucky last year.
I'm sorry, the year before. Excuse me. I'm getting old. My memory's fuzzy. Asshole.
Jerry.
Huh? Kentucky, there's no way in hell they're going to be able to stop Emory Jones.
Right. So
that's where I'm at.
Go ahead and put you down for Florida.
Yes, sir.
All right. Number 23, Baylor travels to Stillwater, Oklahoma to take on.
This would actually be a pretty good game to watch because again, you got Baylor's defense versus Okie Light's just fun and gun offense.
Justin has Baylor.
Then I'll have to pick separate again. I'll go Oklahoma State.
That's at Stillwater. Yeah, that's I don't know.
Jerry down for.
That's gonna be a good game. That's gonna be a good game. I'll tell you what else is gonna be a good game is the one coming up on next. 22 Auburn at Death Valley. The real Death Valley if you live in Baton Rouge.
Yep. And if you ask Shannon Russell.
I would ask her, but I got her blocked on Facebook. I do. I have Shannon Russell blocked on Facebook. It probably won't be a permanent thing. I don't know. We're going to see how it plays out. She's acting a fool over some shit I ain't got nothing to do with. That I seriously, and I really have no idea that all of the ins and outs apparently that have transpired between all of the parties. But I'm done with it, man. I got a lot less drama in my life, and blocking people on Facebook is not as bad as you think it is.
You know, I'll just say this. She wasn't going to be happy unless we removed Landon from the group.
That's if she would have at least agreed to marry me like we had once discussed, maybe, just maybe, I could find it in my heart to unblock her from Facebook. But I don't know. I don't see this relationship going in the direction that I thought it was going to go in.
Let me go ahead and speak for Justin. He has LSU in this game at home.
That's at home. LSU playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, but then again, so is Auburn. You got two programs that have to kind of prove themselves in two very different ways for two very different reasons.
Jerry?
I'm just going to lay down some hard truth right here. There'll never be a day where you'll catch me picking Auburn.
Roll Tide.
So I'm going to go with LSU on this one.
Roll Tide.
All right.
No feels.
No
feels whatsoever.
This is the biggest game of the day. It's arguably the biggest game of the day.
Mm-hmm.
We've got number 8 Arkansas going to.
No, I don't know. I think really looking over these next 3 games, yeah, all of these games have national championship implications. Huge national championship implications.
Yep.
I don't know, Jerry Looney. What do you got to say about Arkansas at Georgia between the hedges?
I think Arkansas has all the potential in the world to keep this close and could possibly win the game.
So, which way are you going?
Well, this is my upset of the week. I've got Arkansas over Georgia.
All right, so you and Justin agree on this one. Y'all both have Arkansas.
Just looking over this list, I mean, it's so brutal. The SEC West is so brutal this year.
Cincinnati, number 7 Cincinnati travels to South Bend to take on the number 9 Fighting Irish.
My Irish are looking good right now.
Justin has Notre Dame on this one.
I feel like Notre Dame has the better players here, the better offense and the better. Well, I'm not going to say defense. I think the Bearcats have the better defense.
Well,
but
Notre Dame's definitely got the home field advantage. So
I got Notre Dame winning this one. I think it's going to be a 3-point game.
Okay. Alabama hosts Ole Miss. In a place, Tuscaloosa, Ole Miss has won 2 games in their entire history. And they're looking to make it 3.
Could it be 3? Could it be 3? Is this year that it's 3? That the Wayne train finally derails
Eventually it's going to happen.
The stronghold that Nick Saban's had on his assistants. He is completely perfect. What is it now? 26-0, 27-0. It's some just ungodly number.
It's up there.
Completely undefeated.
So Justin,
no losses.
Justin, being a Bammer that he is, has picked Alabama. I'm going to go ahead and write down Alabama, Jerry.
Yep, you already know the answer there.
Yep.
But I can give a little insight to the game. I think it's going to be a shootout. But I think somehow Alabama's defense finds a way to stop Corral long enough to put up a second score.
You talking about stops them maybe once or twice, just enough to get that difference?
Yeah, because I see us definitely. There's going to be a lot of blitzes in this game from both defenses. I mean, come on, it's just going to literally come down to who's the better quarterback, who's got the better receiver core, whose secondary is just a little bit soft at the end of the day. I really think this is going to be one of those type games. Although, because we all are expecting that sort of thing, expect Nick Saban to shift gears a little bit in between and try to manage game clock, manage the control of the tempo of the game. Because, man,
Ole Miss is going to be coming out lightning fast
Oh,
all
yeah.
day, every day, and it's going to take.
Are you saying Nick make him come out and slow the game down?
Like he's, I mean, just absolutely famous for doing.
Well,
and
he is,
particularly in these big time games. But I don't know. I mean, here we've got a really unique situation because it wasn't that all long ago when Lane Kiffin was standing on the sideline with Nick Saban.
True.
So he's definitely going to have to come up with some new tricks. And we're talking about Lane Kiffin, his father, Monty Kiffin. I mean, there's just so much offensive history between the two of them. It's just unreal. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be a fun game. I'm looking so forward to this one, but I'm not even gonna lie though. I'm not overlooking this game at all, but man, that Arkansas game is starting to really, really, really concern me.
We have a tiebreaker just in case, because I don't know how y'all's picks line up here, and if y'all end up in a tie, this will break it. The question is, how many points will Ole Miss score? Justin Brindley has already said that he thinks Ole Miss will score 31 points in this game in a losing effort. Jerry?
I think Ole Miss will go 5 touchdowns. I say 35 points.
I think if you're betting Vegas, you bet the over on this game.
I don't know what the combined prediction is.
Oh, it's got to be
80.
well into the 70s, I would imagine.
All right, the spread is 79.5.
Wow.
I was close. 80.
Oh shit. Oh, that's funny.
Well, good luck, Jerry. We're going.
Good luck to you, my friend, and good luck to Justin Brindley as well. And we look forward to seeing both you fellas in the near future.
Help to support and grow our podcast by purchasing great products through our affiliate link page. Go to smachology.life/support for all of our affiliate links. Thank you in advance for supporting the podcast.
Buy the Life Championship t-shirt today for the low price of $23.49. You will never find a shirt like this again in your entire life. So don't be a tightwad. Cheap motherfucker. Buy this shirt today.